Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Entitled Parents. Story 1. The time Justice got caught destroying stuff and his mom made everything worse. I just saw this video and was reminded of an event from my childhood. I think it qualifies as an Entitled Parents story. But it might also just be an insane parents story. This must have been when I was like 12 years old. So some details are spotty and most of it has been filled in second-hand by my mom years later. There was a kid who lived in the same condo complex, or whatever it's called, where I lived for a while as a kid. I always thought the kid was an insufferable douche, but my step-brother was friends with the guy. The English translation of his name was, and I am not kidding here, Justice. Justice constantly did dumb shit. To the point where he got expelled from the school and had to go to a different school further away. I don't recall what he did to get expelled, but in our country you have to do something seriously bad for that to happen. However, it went down before my mom, and I, moved in with my stepdad. So my stepbrother used to go to school with him. Justice's mom was the classic "my son is angel" type of mom who never punished him for anything. One night Justice and some other kids went through every stairwell in our condo complex and unscrewed and took all the light bulbs. They got into the stairwells where they didn't live by calling random people on the door phone and claiming to be some innocent kid who forgot their keys. And well-meaning strangers buzzed them through the door. They then brought all the bulbs into the forest and smashed them. Justice then bragged to my step-brother about this. Now, my step-brother was no angel by any means. But even he thought this level of destruction was a bit much. So he told our parents, who in turn told the board of the HOA, or whatever the condo equivalent of an HOA is, who filed a police report for destruction of property. Justice's family was already on thin ice for a lot of shitty things that he and his mom had done. Stuff like not picking up after their dog. Justice once let the dog do his business in the stairwell as well. Being loud and disturbing their neighbors. And some of their neighbors complained about a smell coming from their condo, more on that later. Justice also had several other cases where he had destroyed property, or was suspected to have destroyed property. A lot of people in the neighborhood also thought Justice's mom was a hoarder, but she never let anyone else in the condo, so nobody could tell for sure. But the part that was visible from the door was definitely cluttered. So, needless to say, they were already bordering on being evicted when this happened. And this was the straw that broke the camel's back. So the board contacted a lawyer to do the groundwork for an eviction process, and they were annoyed about what a lengthy and frustrating process this was going to be. Evicting someone in our country is seriously hard. However, Justice's mom decided to make this easier for them. The board arranged an event where we were all going to work together and clean the area around the condo complex. Unfortunately, our family had a definitely real and not at all impromptu reason to go visit my grandparents for a few days. And this was totally planned months ago and couldn't be changed. So, sadly, we couldn't attend. But after what happened, I kind of wished we had. You see, Justice's mom, enraged by the fact that the board had filed a police report on her son, she didn't even know about the eviction yet, charged and attacked the chairwoman during the event. In broad daylight, and full view of pretty much everyone in the complex, aside from us, Justice's mom attacked the chairwoman while screaming like a madwoman that the chairwoman was child hater, a monster, and that she deserved to die. Justice's mom tried to strangle the chairwoman but was quickly restrained by the others. Police were called, and Justice's mom was arrested for assault. Thankfully, this helped speed up the eviction process considerably. Justice's mom ended up with a restraining order as well. So, I guess you could say Justice's mom was served. What? You know damn well somebody in the Story 2. Entitled Mom tries to trick the ticket office because she doesn't save money on a season ticket like larger families. This just happened a few days ago and I hope it fits in this sub. I, 37F, have a friend O, 42F, who is a single mom to one child L, 8F. My family, O and L all live in the same town, right at the shore of a large lake. The town has 3 Lidos right at the lake shore. The season ticket for a family costs 65, for 2 parents/caretakers and all their children, each get their own ticket, but the total is 65, which just happens to be the same amount as one adult season ticket, 40, plus one child/student season ticket, 25. This is a great deal for our family, 2 adults plus 3 kids, but not for O and L. O is very mad that she can't save anything with the family season ticket. She knew that from last year, so this year she came up with a plan. A few days ago, O wanted to buy a family season ticket for herself, her non-existent partner and L. The lady at the ticket office asked for an ID from her partner, since he wasn't present. O said she didn't have it with her, but maybe her partner would come later or she could bring the ID another time. The lady let O and L in for free, so they could buy the season ticket later, when her partner arrives. O then calls me and asks if I could send my partner down to the Lido, we live very close, so he could pretend to be her partner and they could buy a season family ticket for 2 adults plus 1 child. I said no, he is at work and also the people at the Lido know us because we have been going there many times since season opening in mid-April. She said okay and we hung up. But O is not satisfied and now thinking about asking her brother to lend her his ID since they share the same last name. But is unsure if that will work because his address is completely different, 500 km. Or she will try her luck at one of the other Lidos, since season tickets are valid in all 3 of them. I just don't get it. She won't even save any money. Edit. I am really mad at myself for not saying anything else to O on the phone. I find her behavior entitled and awful. The family running the Lido is very nice, they always have loving words for the kids and try everything to make their customers feel welcome while working very long hours during summer season. Story 3. Entitled Mother Demands I Don't Publish My Book. So I'm weak, molested, an essay by my stepfather. I am writing my book on it to heal and spread awareness. My mother got wind of it because a family member told her I was going to release it. She demanded you are not to publish that book, you are going to make our family look bad. Story 4. My M's girlfriend is making me feel bad for being mad. I'm so confused and I feel terrible RN. So my parents have been abusive towards me in the past in many ways. They would beat me for little to no reason, most times they'd make me babysit, cook, clean, feed etc. my lil sibling and adults along with too many dogs. And for a long time we lived in filth because I was the only one cleaning and I couldn't keep up with 6 different people living in our house. They also emotional and mentally abused me. So obviously I, Transam 16, would be mad at my parents, especially my mother, since she hasn't changed at all. I was on the way to an interview for a job I didn't get and me and my mom's girlfriend started talking about my mother. The conversation went into my past and how I'm mad that my parents did what they did, and I'm getting a job so I won't be home all day and I can save money for myself. She started to say how I felt was weird and then said when you get older you'll realize that parenting has no handbook and they do things that aren't good but they still love you. I remember when my stepmom insert abuse here, not my place to say what she went through, and I ran from her, but I still forgave my dad even though he never helped. Your mom was in a abusive relationship with your dad which caused her to do this all. You'll see and forgive her one day. I obviously got a bit upset because I thought she was the one person who'd actually listen to me and not say something like that to me. I just changed the subject but it still hurts. I know parenting is hard. I basically raised my siblings, but I think that a good parent would make sure their children's house was at least not filled with dogs and trash everywhere. I'd think a parent wouldn't leave their job for the kids to do. I think a responsible parent wouldn't give their 12-year-old kid a gun on their birthday even though they asked for new glasses. I think a responsible parent wouldn't spend so much money on their partners and weed instead of making sure there was food. I think a responsible parent wouldn't make their child a therapist for themselves, and it got so bad their kid doesn't know how to help themselves and will stay in a abusive friendship and get groomed by grown women and men just because they are offered something the parent never gave. I'd think that would be the basics, but apparently there needs to be a handbook for this all now. I just feel so betrayed because the girlfriend was supposed to be the one person I could trust but now I don't. Since of course she went and told my mom everything I said, so now I'm shutting down again. I know on here there's people that'll give me advice and I need that right now. Do I completely shut the girlfriend off too now? Story 5. Don't forget to put your memes and fake stories in EntitledParents memes, thanks. Story 6. Why do I have to scrape the bottom of the barrel for respect, Gen Z? I'm 20 years old, in my second year of college. I've finally reconnected with my mother who I haven't spoken with since my parents' divorce in 2016. I called her up through a relative and I was happy to talk to her and catch up on things. I love her but my mom talks to me like a toddler, in a coochie coochie coo tone. Doting, coddling, I feel like I'm lower than her and I'm not being listened to. She's clearly acting sweet and polite but the fact that she doesn't speak to me with maturity is clearly a sign she has no respect for me. I say yes please and thank you. I tell her I love her. But I have an underlying animosity towards her. This is the same thing I was avoiding when I'm ready to snap and disrespect her, which I'm always holding back from doing. She clearly doesn't appreciate that I'm holding back. I am always going to be grateful to her and love her because of how much pain she went through trying to raise me and my siblings. She problem is she just bowls over me, all while saying polite nothings as if it changes anything. I tell her she's crushing my neck. She has the personality of a typical soccer mom with no self-awareness. I feel embarrassed when I bring her around my friends, and my girlfriend, because she infantilizes me in public and in private. When I was younger I accepted it because I knew I was the youngest of my 3 siblings. Now that I'm grown it's a problem. She is the better of my 2 parents but she still has no boundaries and it's completely disrespectful. All I want is advice on how to handle this disagreement in a mature way. Most people in my family are upper middle class, my 2 step-siblings are millennials and watch Broadway and Disney movies. They're great and they support me. I don't have a lot of support from them though because they're similar. Arguing with her seems hopeless. When I was younger I just assumed her behavior was because I was young. I cut her off for a long time, and gave her space to breathe. I didn't expect this to continue. She just talks to me as if I don't have a mind of my own. Constantly trying to make jokes that are completely nonsensical and I feel this strong cringe feeling in my stomach every time she talks to me. She calls me on the phone at the most inconvenient times. I feel like she treats me like a pet dog. When I tell her to step back and show me respect then she immediately switches to this rude snappy attitude where she starts brooding, just like a 5-year-old. She gives me no respect. She loves me but she has zero respect for me. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.